Good evening. Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Women Radio WFM 91.7. And of course, you're welcome to the program Unmasking the Truth. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and today is Monday, the 7th day in the month of October 2024. All right, so once again, you are welcome to Unmasking the Truth. Now, Masking the Truth, today we are going to be looking at increased extortion of tertiary students through mandatory material purchases. Now, for many years, many female students in Nigeria have faced significant challenges due to the extortionate practices of lecturers who require the purchase of study materials. This pressure not only strained their finances, but also hindered their academic success and overall educational experience. In our previous reports, we highlighted the detrimental impact of these forced purchases on female students' academic journeys, as many struggled to keep up with costs that seemed unjust and burdensome. However, recent efforts to combat this issue have yielded positive changes. Now, through increased awareness, many female students now report a substantial reduction in the pressure to purchase unnecessary study materials using the harassment reporting form designed specifically for female students, empowering them to report any incidents of exploitation. A lot of us who went through school would definitely remember how some lecturers had actually made us to buy a lot of study materials that at the end of the day, we just asked ourselves why, because there was no use for it. And with the kind of exorbitant prices that they get to put on this. So you can imagine bringing a book and they tell you that, the book goes for 800 naira. And then you have lots of people, about 30 or 40 people in a classroom who are going to buy that book at that amount. And then you have another set of another 40 or, close to 40, 50 people who are going to buy that same book. So you can imagine how much these lecturers will get to make. Now, today on Unmasking the Truth, we delve into the significant reduction of extortion faced by tertiary students from lecturers through forced purchases of study materials. Unmasking the Truth is an initiative of St. Ives Communications in partnership with Voice of Women and supported by the MacArthur Foundation. I am Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and of course today joining me is Precious Oluwemimo, a 400 level mass communication student at Lagos State University. But before we get to hear from Precious, let's take a moment to hear from other female students.
Before, when we won't do tests for class, they go tell us, say, me will buy textbook. Say, now that textbook, now you go do test. I be made a talk, say, now inside the page of the textbook, now in the test go day. So we don't get choice. Everybody will buy textbook. But now, things don't get different too. Now just for them to just give us PDF, they will give us PDF, say me will go read. I be made a talk, say me will print PDF out, say me will use and do the assignments and all of that. So the thing, it don't really reduce. It don't be like before, where we say they will say now by force, by fire, me will buy textbook. Say if we no buy textbook will carry 20 marks. I bet textbook will carry 30 marks. So we know we get choice than to buy the textbook. But now people will won't buy textbook, now go buy textbook. We will not get money to buy textbook. We don't go buy textbook. We go use the PDF where they send to us. I be me will go photocopy the page of the textbook where they say. And and they know they disturb us again like that.
All right, so that is the first voice that we have heard today from the street talking to us how, purchasing textbook for her has been, and of course where she is at right now, getting PDFs for this study materials instead of actually purchasing it. And that has actually made her to most likely stop buying this study material. So let's go ahead and speak with Precious, and we'll get to hear from her. Hi, Precious. Good evening. How are you today?
Hi, good evening. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
Okay. All right, Precious. Now let's head on to it. Can you share your personal experiences or stories about how the forced purchase of study materials has actually, impacted your academic journey so far?
So, I've not really experienced this, but I've experienced it enough to talk about it. I say that mean by that is that before, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so before it used to be mandatory to buy materials and other stuff, but since I got into uni, I just realized that it's not really as mandatory, it's not really important. I've not seen it in my faculty like that. However, I have experienced it with elective courses. So in university, like everyone knows, you have to take elective courses to make up your total units. So these elective courses, some lecturers will make it compulsory for you to buy their textbooks for you to pass.
Yeah.
So I remember one time I did a Yoruba elective, and the lecturer was like, we're going to contribute 2,000 naira for. He didn't even explain what we're even going to buy with the 2,000 naira, and we contributed the 2,000 naira. We did not do anything with the 2,000 naira, and we didn't even teach us. We just got to the exam and we wrote the exam. Yoruba exam, it was English that we met there.
Wow.
So that was just it. Last session, I took another elective course, and the lecturer was like, "Oh, I'm going to buy a textbook of 3,500 naira," and I already had enough financial challenges, enough things to pay for. I was just like, "See, I'm not going to pay for any textbook," and when it was time to read, he was like, "Oh, is what is in the textbook that will come out, blah blah blah." What came out? I read the notes, I wrote the exam, I had my 5, that's A. So like, it's the same thing with those that bought the textbook, meaning buying the textbook is not actually a ticket to getting 5. You can get 5 without buying the textbook. It's just threats. And I noticed something about this textbook stuff. My auntie went to a different university from mine. She studied mass communication too. And I noticed that she has lots of textbooks that she probably didn't even read up to one chapter. She has plenty, and all of our university lecturers, all of them were written by. So it's just, should I say, a ploy to make themselves best-selling lecturers or best-selling authors through students. But it has reduced. I've not really seen it play out in school. They just give us PDFs, or they snap the textbooks and they just send it to us.
So what you're saying?
So
what you're saying is that in recent times you've actually noticed changes, especially in your institution regarding this.
Yes. I have.
Okay, so we get to see more of PDFs now. Is it that the students are no longer buying, or everybody is now very aware of what's going on?
If they wanted us to pay for textbooks, I can assure you that students will still pay. Even if you don't have money, the money will come out somehow. But I think the lecturers are becoming more considerate, and there's also they've been reporting them. They've been facing the authorities on charges of exploitation and all that. I remember there was an issue one time in my faculty, but I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
So because of that,
Okay. All right. Thank you, Precious, for telling us about your experience so far and what you've noticed in your institution so far.
Thank you.
Now, UnMasking the Truth on your radio station addresses the reduction in extortion faced by tertiary students from lecturers through forced purchases of study materials. Now, this is an initiative of St. Ives Communications in partnership with Voice of Women and supported by the MacArthur Foundation. Female students, especially those at the grassroots level, initially face significant challenges with the coercive demands for purchasing study materials from lecturers, which undermined their trust in the educational system and hindered their ability to manage their academic pursuits effectively. However, the recent initiatives to curb these practices have empowered students, allowing them to have more control over their educational expenses and resources. This change has not only elevated their financial burdens, but also restored their confidence in the integrity of the academic environments. Now, let's revisit the community to gather more insight from the students about how the reduction in extortion from lecturers has positively impacted their educational experiences.
I don't notice change from our ability to take plan and budget since this say they can't make study material make it not take compulsory, because before any small money when we get like this, I mean after the government join compulsory must buy. But now we're gonna our rights. Say not compulsory, say you must buy everything. Say not when they compulsory. Me and my friends we fit a budget, we go bring money, at times we go they share, this one go read, this one go read though. Now the one I get, I feel buy. The one I don't get, at times I go borrow, I go read down. Unlike before, when even the one we don't go use, we go still buy. Because once the lecturer say they compulsory like this, we must buy them. So the thing don't really help. Now when I know my rights, I feel they plan and I they budget to bed. And when it's don't come, say this study material not compulsory, say they must impose them on us.
A makarantar jami'a ma ko wani lokacin da aka ce sai mun biya wani kudin littafin kafa bar mu rubuta exam kuma ba su gaya mana tun farko kuma mun san wai kudin jarabawa yana haɗu da kudin makaranta. To mutane suna magana wai ya za a yi za rubuta wani exam wani jarabawa ko ba ku gaya mana tsini za mu siya wani littafi. So abin ya hana mutane rubuta exam din, abin ya hana mutane rubuta jarabawa din. To ya bar waɗansu sun bar shekara ɗaya don ba su rubuta exam ba, carry over kenan, sai sake rubutawa next shekaran da ke zuwa. So abin ya hana mutane da yawa rubuta jarabawan don waɗansu ba su da kudin da za su siyo littafin da shi. So matsala ɗaya kenan.
All right, so Precious, I'm coming back to you now because from the voices we've heard from the street talking about the purchase of study materials made compulsory by lecturers, and maybe some courses in school. Now, from the voices we've heard, the First Lady said that now she's more aware, she knows what to do. Sometimes if it's made compulsory, maybe she'll buy one, her friend will buy another, and then they combine to read, and all of that. But since she became more aware of it, she, doesn't really bother to buy them. Even the second person too was also speaking in Hausa, and I happened to hear Hausa, and she was saying that, it goes as far as saying that you'll not even be allowed to write exams if you don't get any of these study materials. So now, coming back to you, Precious, at the very moment now, do you feel that students are more aware of their rights to purchase study materials now than before? Or you just think that times are changing? The lecturers are now saying that, well, people are now more technologically inclined. So who wants to be opening book to be reading when you can just send this in PDFs? But even in the PDFs, do people purchase the PDFs or is just given free? How is that?
So people don't purchase the PDFs, it's given free.
Okay.
And sometimes they snap the pages of the textbook. The lecturers might have one copy, they snap the pages and they just send it to us, so read this part. Sorry about that noise. And about students knowing their rights, I don't think students really know that they have a right to not buy textbooks. Even now, I think they're just seeing it as a privilege rather than a right.
Okay.
Because one of my friends went to another university for a shoot or something like that, and when she got there, she saw how she took one of their she was one of their lecturers. Yeah.
Okay.
So she saw the way the lecturer was interacting with the students. They still buy handouts. Like the last time I heard the word handouts was when my mommy was in school, because I was in school. My mommy was schooling when she gave birth to me. The last time I heard the word handouts was when mommy was in school, and they were still buying handouts. So I don't think students are really aware. To us in LASU, we don't really know about it like that. So it's like a normal thing to us. But to them, they're not aware of their rights. I don't say the name of the university, but they're not aware of rights. So if a lecturer should say, don't buy textbook, they'll see it as a privilege rather than a right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and well, I can just imagine for so many other universities, who are still paying to get some of these handouts, because even while I was in school, that was why earlier when I started, I said 700, 800. Well, Precious now is mentioning 3,000, 2,500, 4,000 for just a textbook, all right, or probably just a book that maybe the lecturer wrote or the lecturer's friend wrote, and they're bringing it so that they can actually make something out of it. But then this is 2024. All right. Now, this has actually been done in our previous episode, but we are looking at how this has gone, how far it has gone, and we are trying to look at how it has, decreased. Because at the end of the day, during our time, I can boldly beat my chest and say, yes, we actually bought. Even though I went to a private university, but we still bought textbooks that at the end of the day, we didn't necessarily need. Talk more of those that went to public universities, federal universities, and even state universities. So, I mean, compared to now, it is really, really reduced compared to what Precious is saying. All right, now, Precious, have you noticed a change in, your own ability and probably your friends, since, all of you are in the same environment? Have you noticed a change in your ability to plan and budget since this reduction? Because, I mean, it has actually gone down. We don't get to hear more. We don't get to hear this as often as we used to hear when, we were in school. So for you now, Precious, would you say that you've noticed a change in your ability to plan and budget since this reduction? Because you also mentioned that sometimes the money that you've kept for something else, you have to go and pick it and buy this particular because you don't want to fail, or you don't want to be marked as somebody who doesn't come to the class, or you don't want to get an A in that course. So how has this affected your ability to plan and budget since this has actually reduced, or it's probably non-existent at all? Hi, Precious, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sorry, I went off for a while. Sorry about that.
What did you hear?
So
Okay.
I have definitely noticed a change in my ability to plan
Hi, Precious, are you there?
and budget.
Okay. Go ahead. I missed you for some seconds there. All right. So, Precious, just let us know how this has, affected your budget, because I want to believe that not only for Precious, but a lot of students, at least the money that you have kept, you would be able to use it to do other things. Probably you'll be able to buy yourself some more food stuff, get some other necessary items that you might need in school, and you don't even have to worry about, buying of study materials. You don't have to worry about one lecturer coming to enforce a particular study material on you to actually buy this. All right, Precious, you were just telling us about how this has affected your ability to plan, to budget, and all of that.
Yes, thank you. So now that I don't have to worry about textbooks again, because I remember in 100 level, I used to put all my money into buying unnecessary textbooks that only use for one semester. But now that I know that, okay, I don't have to buy it and they're not forcing it on us, I can focus on more important things.
Okay.
Like food, because food is very important.
Of course.
At that time, I used to sacrifice my food money to pay for textbooks because I'm not from a rich family. There's a limit to the money that my daddy can give me per month. So I can't, and okay, I think I have side hustles now, but that time I wasn't even working at all.
Yeah.
So I can put my money into taking care of myself, practicals too. So now that we are not buying textbooks again, sometimes we do practicals. For example, last semester, we shot a short film in my department, and we did not have to pay to the lecturer or anything. We just contributed money amongst ourselves. The lecturer coordinated us. We did not give the lecturer a dime of our money. The money that was remaining, we used it to buy jollof rice and chicken to feed ourselves. So we can focus on more. And when I was writing the exam for that course, like, it was definitely better than reading a textbook, because the questions were so practical, and I could write my exam based on my experience from producing the short film. So it helps me focus on more important things and just, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Precious, for being a part of our program this evening.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right, have a great evening and enjoy the rest of the week. All right, so that's Precious Oluwemimo, a 400-level mass communication student at Lagos State University. She has shared her experience with us, and she has told us how this has actually helped her ability to plan and budget since this has actually reduced. Now, let's hear more voices of our female students.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, pẹ̀lú àdínkù owó tó ń dínkù lórí ìwé wa, mo ti lè ṣètò ìkan mìíràn. Mo ti lè dáwó pamọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ìwé yẹn tá a bá lè rà á ní wọ́n ní fún wa ní máàkì wa kó pé wọ́n ní jẹ́ ká ṣèdánwò wa. Nísìnyí bí wọ́n ṣe dín owó yẹn kù, mo ti lè tọ́jú owó pamọ́. Mo lè ra oúnjẹ tí mo bá fẹ́ jẹ. Nísìnyí mo lè jẹun bó ṣe wù mí. Ibi tí mo bá fẹ́ lọ tẹ́lẹ̀ tí mi ò kí ń rówó mọ́tò lọ, owó mọ́tò ti yọ fún mi nísìnyí. Mo lè máa rí owó mọ́tò lọ sí ibikíbi tí mo fẹ́ lọ.
All right, now this inaccurate and often inflated demands for study materials plays an undue burden on tertiary students, jeopardizing their academic success and overall well-being. The lack of transparency and accountability in the procurement process left many students struggling to manage their educational expenses, with some forced to withdraw from their programs entirely. Now, I knew of some who actually had to withdraw or even stopped buying at all, and that actually made their grades, go down because their grades were attached to some of the study materials. Now, this significant reduction in extortion marks an important step forward in our mission to ensure that student voices are heard and that educational institutions remain accountable to their learners. If you have a story on how corruption and lack of accountability affect women and girls in your community that you would like us to talk about, please do well to share your comments by WhatsApp to 070-317-56537. I will just go over that again. If you have a story on how corruption and lack of accountability gets to affect women and girls in your community and you'd want us to talk about it, please do well to send a WhatsApp message to 070-317-56537. Unmasking the Truth from the Gender Lens is an initiative of St. Ives Communications in partnership with Voice of Women and supported by the MacArthur Foundation. Thank you to the production team of Aisha Sani and Taiwo Adeleye, and executive producer Tom Okewale Shonaya. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. Do well to have a great evening and enjoy the rest of the week.
WFM 91.7